hundreds of Russian missiles and numerous thousands of Iranian kamikaze drones. At any moment, the terrorist federation can resume energy terror against Ukrainians. And all this with just one bloodthirsty goal: to leave millions of peaceful residents in the rear regions of Ukraine without heat and light.
I don't understand why light in Kiev. Light, no light. I don't understand this.
But for any aerial threat in the Ukrainian sky, there is a corresponding threat. So let's figure out together who, with what, and most importantly, how the Ukrainian sky is being protected. To begin with, it should be noted, air defense is a system of anti-aircraft defense, which includes many detection and destruction means interconnected with one goal: to eliminate any threat in the sky. When it comes to air defense, it is always a system that consists of anti-aircraft missile or artillery complexes, and the complexes, in turn, consist of smaller elements: radars, launchers, missiles, anti-aircraft guns, command posts, and transport vehicles.
How does this system essentially work? Radars effectively detect targets at quite long ranges, starting somewhere around 250 kilometers, right? After that, the routes of these targets begin to be tracked and transmitted to the fire. That is the means of destruction, which include, on one hand, fighter aviation, and on the other hand, anti-aircraft missile systems, such as...
Interestingly, to protect the sky, an air defense system does not always need to directly shoot down aerial targets. Sometimes, mere presence is enough for enemy aviation to be afraid, to enter its operational zone. This is exactly what is happening now in Ukraine. The enormous losses of the occupiers' aviation from the first days of the invasion have significantly limited the growth of aircraft in flights. Since November 2022, alongside the White House, the Ukrainian sky has been protected by the Norwegian-American NASAMS system. The main tactical weapon of this anti-aircraft missile system is a battery consisting of 3 platoons, 9 launchers, each capable of firing up to 6 missiles, 1 NTAS optoelectronic guidance system, and 3 radar stations. Interestingly, on the front lines, modern air defense radars are used not only for detecting and destroying aerial targets, but also as an assistant for guiding Ukrainian artillery.
Some stations assist our artillery, like HIMARS, in combating enemy targets. That's it. They detect the missile systems, the launch sites of multiple rocket launch systems.
The key weapon of any air defense system is its missiles. NASAMS uses AMRAAM missiles, which belong to the air-to-air class. These missiles were developed by the American company Hughes Aircraft. The air defense system has a combined guidance system. That is, initially, the flight is carried out through command inertial control, and later active radar homing is engaged. The tactical characteristics of NASAMS are as follows: engagement range from 2.5 to 40 kilometers, target altitude from 30 to 16,000 meters, response time 10 seconds, deployment and redeployment time of the system from 3 to 15 minutes, target speed no more than 1,000 meters per second. Perhaps this surface-to-air missile system can be called the most pragmatic of all the options. At one time, NASAMS was developed under the concept of minimal costs, maximum efficiency. Despite the significant advantage in terms of cost, the export price is about $65 million. It, along with the American Hawk and the German Iris-T, is not capable of combating ballistic missiles. In the event of a ballistic launch, the older siblings come to the forefront, the American Patriots and the European SAMP-T.
Only these two systems are capable of working against ballistic targets, that is, against Kinjal missiles, Iskander missiles, and also against Kh-22 missiles.
The peculiarity of intercepting ballistic missiles lies in the direct hit of a missile on a missile. While the munitions fired from most anti-aircraft missile systems operate on the principle of self-detonation, destroying the aerial target only with fragments.
An enemy target is flying, an anti-aircraft missile approaches to a certain distance, detonation occurs, and the fragments hit this aerodynamically designed target. If a ballistic missile is hit by fragments, there is no point in it. It will continue to fly vertically and hit the target. This is the main difference. That is, it's the hit-to-kill principle. Destroying with a direct hit.
You have to pay for the uniqueness and indeed effectiveness, including against analogs like the Kinjal. While the cost of a single shot from an average air defense system does not exceed approximately $1 million, launching a single Patriot missile costs approximately $3 million. The main characteristics of the American Patriot are as follows. With a weight of 912 kilograms, the maximum and minimum interception range is from 3 to 80 kilometers, and the interception altitude is from 60 meters to 24 kilometers. Moreover, up to 8 targets can be engaged simultaneously. To date, the Ukrainian military has already successfully integrated the Patriots into the existing air defense system of Ukraine, which, before the start of the full-scale war, consisted only of Soviet S-300 and Buk missile systems. Another crucial step in preparing for the very harsh winter was the Pentagon's Frankenstein project, which was extremely aimed at significantly providing Ukraine with as many air defense systems as possible, as well as extensively collaborating with Ukraine to develop new air defense systems and also adapt Soviet Buk missile systems to American AIM-7 missiles. Furthermore, this collaboration was in order to successfully and effectively enhance Ukraine's defense capabilities.
Well, this is quite but positive information because there are a huge number of such missiles in the United States warehouses. However, the old Soviet missiles for the Buk, after intensive use of this complex, because it is a mobile complex, it operates both within the country and near the line of combat contact. That is, the ammunition supply for the Buks is not infinite. Therefore, it is necessary to look for some kind of replacement for them.
As we can see, the Ukrainian air defense system is not standing still. Cruise missiles, airplanes, drones, ballistic missiles, and even Kinjal missiles face serious resistance in the Ukrainian sky. But unfortunately, all this only concerns the rear cities of Ukraine. At the front and in frontline cities, the enemy's aviation has a significant advantage. Cabs and aerial bombs fall by the dozens daily on the heads of residents in frontline areas. But against this weapon, or more precisely its carrier, there is a counterbalance, the transfer of which will take place soon.
How are they used? A Russian fighter approaches with bombs to a distance of 30 to 40 kilometers, drops this bomb, which then follows the GPS to the target, and then it turns around and leaves. That is, it doesn't come close. The border is closer to the line of combat contact, closer than there at 25 to 30 kilometers. If we get the F-16 with missiles at 150 kilometers, we will be able to strike Russian KAB carriers.
Friends, that's all for now. Don't forget to write in the comments about which types of weapons you would like to learn more about. Also, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel so you definitely don't miss any exciting new episodes of Arsenal.
Air defense system, both the president, the military and analysts all absolutely agree that this is without a doubt at this very moment indeed currently Ukraine's top priority today. Almost every day, air defense forces prove this by saving thousands of lives and destroying hundreds of aerial targets. Generally speaking, as a rule, the best results are in particular demonstrated by military units equipped with Western models of air defense systems. Among them, the Patriot system is considered almost the gold standard. However, Ukrainians have managed to create their own counterpart to the legendary American air defense missile system, which will begin protecting our skies as early as next year. The Kyiv Design Bureau Luch has been working on this project since 2016. At that time, the goal was set to develop a domestic short and medium-range air defense system. A year before the full-scale Russian invasion, the result of this work was presented for the first time at an international exhibition, a full-scale model of the first missile in Ukraine's history capable of intercepting ballistic targets. That was when the whole world learned about the Coral project.
The Coral air defense system fits the concept of a lightweight mobile air defense system with short and medium range. It is designed to protect specific sites such as thermal power plants, power stations, air bases, port industrial centers, and so on.
Let us clarify right away that information about the Coral project is strictly classified. We will only talk about what the military themselves have permitted us to share. And we will rely on official information about the project that is publicly available. By the way, the latest data from open sources dates back to 2021. At that time, the development was at the stage of preparation for testing. However, much has changed since then.
The first reports about the Coral air defense system date back to 2021. At that time, a representative of the Luch Design Bureau, which is the Ukrainian enterprise, developing and implementing this system, reported that the project was 70% complete. So apparently 2024 will be the milestone when Ukrainian cities will finally be protected directly.
So what exactly are they planning to use to shield the Ukrainian sky? Again, according to data from 2 years ago, the Coral systems will use a surface-to-air missile of the same name. Its stated range is up to 30 kilometers. The missile is capable of intercepting targets at altitudes of up to 10 kilometers. With a total weight of 300 kilograms, its warhead will weigh 25 kilograms. The Coral missile has a flight speed of about 1,000 meters per second. The missile itself is equipped with an inertial guidance system and an active homing head. With these notable and impressive characteristics, the Ukrainian Coral system is quite comparable to the technical parameters of the Mika VL SAMP system of the most popular and widely used air defense systems in this class. This particular type is in fact widely installed on many different Western corvettes and frigates. But there is one pleasant surprise. These characteristics had been mentioned earlier. However, now the Coral missile with a range of 30 kilometers and the entire system as a whole are actively being compared by analysts to the Patriot system. What's the secret? Judging by a recent post from the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, during the refinement of those very 30%, the range of the domestic missile was significantly increased, more than threefold. As a result, the missile's flight range has increased from 30 to over 100 kilometers. It is logical to assume that the maximum engagement altitude has also increased.
The main focus is on the production of air defense systems, from ordinary man-portable air defense systems to air defense systems with a range of over 100 kilometers, such as the Coral SAMP system.
Even during the presentation itself, in their remarks, the developers very clearly and specifically stated that a flight altitude of 10 kilometers is in fact the minimum guaranteed value. The actual final figures will only be determined later during practical launches. At the same time, these figures can always be further improved by changing the dimensions, increasing the amount of fuel, or for instance by replacing the warhead with another type, if necessary, as needed. In short, everything depends on the requirements on the battlefield. At flight speeds over 1,000 meters per second, the Coral can theoretically handle Russian Kinzhal, Iskander, Kach-22 missiles and other fast-flying targets.
The Coral air defense system generally works against targets with a ballistic trajectory, and that is very important.
Moreover, when developing the missile, the designers followed the approach of their Western counterparts, abandoning the Soviet-Russian practice of producing separate missiles for each type of equipment and weapon, which would then require lengthy modernization efforts. At the Luch Design Bureau, they initially created a universal weapon capable of being used on land, at sea and in the air.
And I want to emphasize once again, this is a mobile system. It can have both a land-based version and a naval one. Plus, it is used by Ukrainian aviation systems as an air-to-air missile universal tool.
Once again, for the first time, the same missile can be launched from ground-based launchers, systems installed on warships, and also mounted on aircraft. What do you think of this solution? Share your thoughts in the comments. Can't make a system from one missile. You also need radars, launchers, control systems, and so on. So, in this area, our engineers have also excelled. Back in 2021, the designers announced that everything was ready for the deployment of the new missile.
We have everything. We have target detection and designation stations. The main components of the missile. We have the programs and algorithms that provide exactly the structure of this system. We even have in the end the command vehicle launch platforms which will implement the proven technical solutions and ensure the transportation and launch of the missile.
Perhaps the equipment used with the new missile had to be modified to meet its new specifications. However, after almost 2 years of close military cooperation with the entire civilized world and having access to Western manufacturing and technologies, there is no doubt that Ukrainian engineers and designers have managed to solve this problem as well. Ukraine's arms sector successes are noted by Ukrainian leaders.
There's a lot, but it's classified. Should we post factory locations from the war on Facebook? Some things exist. No specifics, but things that didn't exist before now number hundreds of thousands, and by year's end, millions. And this is local production.
What exactly is being referred to, most of us will only find out after it has been successfully used on the front lines. As this information becomes public, we will definitely share it in our upcoming episodes. However, just knowing that Ukraine will finally have its own modern weapons inspires great hope. So please like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.